Hello, Internet. I'm Hugo.
And I'm Jake. This is motherfucking Unpop.
This is the only show that body shames itself. And today we're going to be talking about a couple things. Firstly, in sad news, R2-D2 has died. The meaty center. It's like if only the nougaty center of a Three Musketeers died. So
right, because he was the midge inside the robot suit.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Also, Pennywise from the new Stephen King's It remake has been revealed, and Jake has strong feelings on that for reasons I can't possibly comprehend.
It's true. Anyways.
For fans of Step Brothers and or Talladega Nights and or dumb jokes, Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly are teaming up again for another movie. This time, it's with public domain characters, so their careers are definitely on a downward trajectory. And then, 60s Batman, by the way. Adam West, Burt Ward, they're making a comeback, this time in cartoon form. Very excited about that. And then finally, we're going to talk about art. I'm not a huge art appreciator, but sometimes you see something that just moves you. We're going to talk about that. So, anyway, first up, Kenny Baker, R2-D2, actually did die.
Kenny!
Yeah.
No!
Interestingly, he actually died at the age of 81, which is amazing.
Wow, it's a good run for one of those.
When he was a kid, I'm not kidding, doctors told him you're probably not going to survive past puberty. Which he totally beat the hell out of that and then became one of the most famous characters in science fiction history. He not only played R2-D2 in the original trilogy, but he came back for the remakes, which is interesting because by that point, they could have probably used an RC robot, but they decided not to. That, you know, they did it with him, and I respect that. I respect that they respected the tradition of the character.
They decided to enclose a midget into a tiny tin can into the desert again. That's a way to... Thanks for the memories, George Lucas. Now, obviously, we love Star Wars and we love R2-D2, and I'm not sure how much of that was Kenny Baker, necessarily, because I'm not sure he was beeping or booping, but he was definitely the physical aspect of it. He was a guy in there making him do all sorts of things. So, yeah, I guess this is kind of like if Peter Mayhew died, this is kind of like that. Like, you can put another tall guy in the suit or another midget in the... I'm saying midget. The first time it was a joke, and now I'm just being rude. You could put Kenny Baker in the tin can. You could put another person in there. But it's still sad to see him go because they were part of the original cast. And I don't know. Has Kenny Baker been in anything else besides Star Wars, though? I'm not familiar with his work. Was he in, like... Wow, this sounds bad. Was he in, like, Leprechaun? Because I know the one that did the Ewok was in Leprechaun.
Hold on, I'll check his IMDb.
I am sounding so midget racist right now.
You really are. You're a terrible guy.
Man, I just... I wanted to make a one of those joke, and then it just kind of seeped in and became real.
I mean, he was in a movie in 2013, When the Devil Rides Out. Or wait, no, sorry, that comes out... That's still in post-production. Interesting. He was in One Night in Arsto, which was in 2013. That was a short film. He was in a
TV... does other stuff.
A TV series called Casualty. The Cage, which is... It looks like he did a lot of short films and stuff, which is nice.
Cool.
But yeah, mostly his big thing is obviously Star Wars.
He probably makes a lot of royalties out there. Or did.
Yeah.
His family now makes those royalties. So.
Oh, he was in Labyrinth.
That makes sense. Yeah. Jim Henson needed a lot of little folk.
He was in Amadeus. Film. That's surprising to me. I wonder who he was in. I feel like I would have picked him out. I feel like I watched Amadeus a couple of weeks ago and I didn't notice.
Maybe he was the wig.
Maybe.
So yeah, anyways, this is there's not much to talk about here. How did he die, I guess?
Oh, old age. He's 81.
Just old person stuff?
It wasn't
probably, like...
I think it was probably because he was old and in part could have been due to complications due to his dwarfism or whatever.
He didn't, like, crash a motorcycle?
No, they found him. He died in his sleep, I'm pretty sure. So.
Aw, come on. Maybe if he was, like, rushing, like, WikiLeaks plans to the White House and then... died on the lawn while Michelle Obama grabbed it from him would be a nice little poetic end.
Anyway,
you know what I mean?
Regardless of what you think of Star Wars or R2-D2 in general, you gotta respect that the dude was part of a huge phenomena. And
who hates R2-D2?
I don't know.
What kind of monster comes away watching Star Wars and is like, you know what I hated the most? A little fucking robot with the blue pieces on it. fucking, it's because there's midgets in there. And I hate midgets. True story, my mom is actually genuinely pretty racist against midgets.
You've told me
I don't know if
this.
that's racist. I just don't know how to say that otherwise.
Just prejudice?
Is it prejudice? It's more than prejudice, though. Because it's not like she cuts them off in line and, like, denies them bank loans. She genuinely dislikes just them at a basic level. It's super raw.
She hates. She hates
it's just
little people.
Yeah, it's a raw hate, but it's like just on the basis that they are smaller than normal human size.
That is so strange. That's a
It
dick
is
move.
strange. She's a weird lady. She's coming to visit me pretty soon, so that's going to be awkward for 5 days. Anyways, also, quick news, Stu Pickles died. I don't know the actor's name. That guy died. So, 2 people from our childhoods, they're dead. It's Tommy Pickles' dad. He was 80. I don't know how he died. I hope it was pickle related.
I think it was just shenanigans. The babies got out, and they thought they were having a fun adventure, but really they were stabbing him in the face 70 times. Turns out, those babies all grew up super schizophrenic. It wasn't baby's imagination. Not enchanting, mental illness. Anyway. On to another role that relies heavily on makeup. I don't know, there's a segue for you. Pennywise the Clown got revealed, I think, by Entertainment Magazine. And
no.
Jake is not a fan. See, I'm not a huge Stephen King fan in general. Not that I don't respect...
I'm not either.
I don't not respect the work he's done and how prolific he's been. It's just not my thing.
No.
But...
I don't find him to be a particularly good writer, although he's better than a lot of people that write that much. I mean... The dude puts out a lot of shit, and so sometimes it's just not going to be great. Now, he has some really good ideas. Like, I really enjoyed most of his film adaptations that are good are really good. Like, I really liked The Mist, which had a better ending in the movie than it did in the book. That was cool. I really enjoyed that movie. Even though the effects are garbage, it's still I don't know. It's got a really good pacing to it. It deals with some interesting themes, and I think they pull it off. Obviously, I think everyone's favorite's got to be The Shining, right? Because Kubrick, he nailed the fuck out of that. Shawshank Redemption's probably my favorite story within that, but The Shining is clearly the superior film, right?
I prefer Misery. Misery is probably my favorite.
Misery's really good. Yeah. So I mean, he's not for all the shit that I will give Stephen King in the future, and probably have in the past. He has definitely knocked it out of the park more than enough to earn his status among the writing gods. But like Langoliers was garbage. I like the concept, but Langoliers is terrible.
Well, he didn't make the movie. He did make the movie where it's Maximum Overdrive. He did make that. That's on him.
Yeah, I get it. But It was obviously another one of his movies, and I will give him this for a horror movie. It was a pretty good one, although I think anyone who thinks that this spider thing was a good idea is wrong. But anyways, they're making a new movie. I think it's still called It. And so they've redesigned Pennywise. And here's that. Cannot stand it. Can't stand it. And here's why. Because it's Pennywise. It's not because it's just a killer clown. This is totally a killer clown. I mean, look at it. It is threatening. It is scary. It's off-putting. It makes you go, ugh. It's got the heebie-jeebie thing going for it. And the clothes are fucking off-putting. They look like I don't know, what I assume Augustus Gloop was dressed as a baby. It looks like that, those clothes. But the thing about Pennywise, he's not scary because he's a killer clown. He's scary because it's reasonable to think that kids would go towards him. It's sort of like the idea that the scariness is from the stranger danger aspect of Pennywise, where he could genuinely lure kids in. If I showed the kids that right there, they would fucking cry. They'd be like, I do not want to watch that movie at all. Like, Pennywise at least has like balloons and shit. This one's gonna have like fucking just other dead baby heads.
See, here's my position on this.
Wiping blood on his face.
I totally get what you're saying, but I don't think this is how it's going to be presented in the film at the beginning. I think they made it creepy for the photo shoot for entertainment. I think at the beginning of the movie, he'll probably look like a normal-ish clown. He'll still be in this outfit, but it'll be lighted different. It'll look different. Maybe it'll look less tattered. You know what I mean? They'll make it more believable that kids would go to him, and then as the film goes on, it will be more creepy, and they'll make him look creepier like this.
I hope so. Because, like, the idea is just so creepy especially once you're like a caregiver or a parent for children. Like, you tell them don't fucking talk to strangers, but like clowns are fun. You know what I mean? It's genuinely a scary thing that could work out. And so yeah, I think the psychological portion behind that is really what counts, not necessarily the appearance. And this appearance kind of doesn't let you have the psychological effects. If Stephen King's good at one thing, he's really good at putting children in danger and possibly killing them.
Yeah. I don't think the movie's going to be good, but one thing I think it's going to do a little better is the pacing, because I'm not a fan of the original.
I'm not really either. I'm a fan of Pennywise.
Yeah, they packaged it as a movie, but it was really a TV miniseries. I thought it went on way too long. By the time you get to the end of the first part, it's like, oh, is it done yet? I get it. It's a book translation, but when you translate from a book, sometimes you need to trim stuff, and the miniseries did not want to trim stuff. So I get that a lot of people, that's part of their childhood or their adolescence, and it was creepy at the time, but as an adult, go back and watch it. It's not fucking scary. Tim Curry's great, but that's because he's Tim Curry. You know, it's not because the character's actually scary in the movie. That's not to say the character as a concept isn't scary.
Also, the spider slingshot thing, garbage.
Ugh.
But actually, Stranger Things, which you just did a live stream about recently, did the slingshot monster thing way better.
Because it didn't work, right? It didn't. Not. Oh wait, no, it did work. Kind of.
Kind of works, but yeah, it's anyways. So yeah, so horror movies have sucked in the past, and I'm probably going to skip this entirely unless it comes out on Netflix and I'm super bored. Unless it gets amazing reviews, which it probably won't. But if you are in the mood for horror movies that are on Netflix, I suggest two of them: The Babadook, which is a great one, and then They Look Like People.
Oh, did you watch that? I know I told you to.
So great.
That was great. What a great... I was shocked by the end. It was like, oh, that movie, not to spoil anything.
Genuinely great.
Halfway through, you're going to be like, this movie could end one of two ways. A sucky way or a great way. It ends a great way, so don't worry about it.
Yeah. It's really fantastic, so I can't recommend that enough.
Yeah, but anyway, enough about killer clowns. Let's talk about not killer clowns. Will Ferrell
Jesus
and John
Christ.
See,
okay, you can never make fun of me for my segues ever again.
I'm doing my best, man. I'm doing my best.
It's not good.
Yeah,
it's not good.
So, Will Ferrell, it's interesting because he has great movies and shit movies. In fairness, for anyone who stays in the realm of comedy, mostly he's done sort of other things. I get that. He did like Everything Must Go, I think it was called, and Stranger Than Fiction.
I really like Stranger Than Fiction.
I do.
I have not seen Everything Must Go yet, and I planned on it, but I missed it out. I really like Stranger Than Fiction, though, and I like some of his comedy movies that aren't necessarily great. Like, I like Talladega Nights. I think that's fun. It's obviously stupid. I liked a lot of the jokes in Blades of Glory, but I don't know if I like the movie necessarily.
No, see, I feel the same. Will Ferrell has done plenty of movies that are objectively shit, but if you're bored, if you're looking for something stupid to watch, they're utterly watchable movies. I'll give him that.
It's so not Adam Sandler, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
it doesn't feel depressing, and it feels like Will Ferrell has fun.
Yeah.
Now, Anchorman, of course, is the best one. I think Anchorman 2 is still up there, but it's just not Anchorman 1, so it gets some hate, but it's still pretty good. As far as most of the other stuff, skip. Step Brothers, though. That's my thing.
Yeah.
That's probably one of his better movies.
See, that's why I'm excited for this new one, because it's him and John C. Reilly again, and I think they always work well together, and the premise is actually funny enough that it could turn out shit, but I'm pretty confident it'll be funny. And the name of the movie is like Holmes and Watson, and Will Ferrell is playing Sherlock Holmes, and John C. Reilly is his Watson, and they're doing...
That's a good idea.
That's funny. It's been done before. I think... There was the brother of Sherlock Holmes at one point, like in the 70s, or it was Sherlock Holmes' brother doing Sherlock Holmes things, but he was bad at it. And then I think Sherlock Jr., Buster Keaton did, which I haven't seen. But people have done the parody of Sherlock Holmes before. But
sure, I mean, the Robert Downey one, which was Sherlock Holmes, it was still very quirky, fun.
It was Guy Ritchie Sherlock Holmes for sure. Action-y.
Right, yeah. It almost had a Joss Whedon-y quippiness to it as well. So yeah, Guy Ritchie, though, love his films. Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Hit me up.
But yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. Honestly, I think now's a good time to do it too, because we're pretty inundated with Sherlock stuff right now, between the excellent Sherlock done by Stephen Moffat and Mark Gatiss. And there's an American show which I tried to watch one episode of. It was not my thing. It was
Elementary.
Yeah, Elementary.
No.
Again,
there's some video games coming out. There was that other movie with Dumbledore.
Oh,
or was
yeah,
that
Mr.
Magneto?
Holmes. Did you watch Mr. Holmes yet?
I did not. Is it good?
Check it out. It's honestly great. It's not your typical Sherlock Holmes story. Like, it's not like there's a murder and I have to solve it. It's about Sherlock Holmes. Watson is dead, and it's in his old age, him trying to come to terms with a case he couldn't solve and trying to finally... I don't want to spoil it. It's a good end to Sherlock Holmes. As far as I'm concerned, this is the canon ending in my head, the head canon ending to what happens to Sherlock Holmes in the final years of his life. It's very good. And obviously, Ian McKellen does an excellent job, as always.
So it was Magneto, not Dumbledore.
Yes, it was Magneto.
That's how I tell them apart. He was Gandalf, though. Was Ian McKellen Gandalf? That was McKellen, right?
Yes, that was it.
I'm not wrong.
Anyway, that's an excellent movie for on the serious side. It's not funny like this one's going to be. But I'm pretty excited for it. It's going to be, at the very least, a dumb movie I'll rent, maybe have a drink, eat some pizza rolls, not give a fuck.
Yeah, pizza rolls are obviously the food that go with any Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly movie. I really like John C. Reilly. He also does some dramatic roles that are really well done. I think there was one called, was it called Thief or something with Diego Luna? That one was really good, whatever that one was. Maybe it was Scam Artist or I don't know. But he's done some really good stuff. He's a better actor, I think, than Will Ferrell.
Oh, by far. John C. Reilly's won, I think, Academy Awards for non-comedy roles. He doesn't just do comedy. He was
the catcher in Bull Durham.
He was in Chicago as the husband, and he did a really good job in that. And that's a role where he had to sing. He did a good job. And then there was...
Oh, no, he was the catcher. He was not the catcher in Bull Durham, because that was Kevin Costner, but he was the catcher in the other baseball movie with Kevin Costner, where he threw a perfect game. No, the other baseball movie, the third baseball movie that Kevin Costner did. There was Field of Dreams, there was Bull Durham, and then there was For the Love of the Game, which was he was throwing a perfect game, and then there was flashbacks of his like love life and his just where it came from. That's a really good movie too, where John C. Reilly is good in. Anyways, there's my brain fart for the day.
Yeah, I don't know. Overall, I'm excited for it. It's gonna be a stupid movie, but I'll watch the hell out of it, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I like me some Sherlock Holmes, even making fun of it. I just like the concept.
I'll see it.
He's the original detective, you know. So
yeah, and it'll be funny.
Yeah. Then we're gonna get to, this is my favorite story this week, honestly. That's Adam West, Burt Ward returning to their famous roles as Batman and Robin. I think it's like The Return of Batman or something. It's a new DC animated movie, animated similarly in style to the original live action show was, though they make Batman look more like Batman. It's that suit, but he looks nothing like, barrel-chested Adam West.
I was gonna say barrel-chested and clearly filled with scotch and processed meat.
Yeah, there was actually a promo. It's tongue-in-cheek. It knows what it is, though. It's actually really neat, because I think it was actually last year or the year before it was the first time the rights to the 1960s Batman got sorted out, because for so long, a couple of companies owned it. The movie was owned by one company, but the actual series itself was never released on VHS or DVD because they couldn't agree who's going to release it, who's going to get what, and that's why you didn't have official 1960s merchandise or cartoons or comics. But that got resolved recently, so now there's a new comic book series that's based on that, and I've heard is actually pretty good. There's tons of merchandise. They released the Blu-rays of the whole series, and now this new movie coming out, which is awesome. I'm glad we get to see this. Let's be real, Adam West is getting up there. I want to see him as Batman one more time. And in the promo, it has him and Burt Ward, Robin, strapped to a giant TV dinner slowly being put into an oven. It's
so fantastic.
It knows what it is. Burt Ward, definitely not a boy Ward anymore, though. You hear his voice and you're like, oh my god, this is a 50, 60-year-old man pretending to be Dick Grayson. It's still funny.
He's got to be way older than 50.
Well, he was in his 20s in this. Oh, wait. Oh, shit. You're right.
Yeah.
You're totally right. Yeah, you're right. He's old, though.
He's old. They're both old. This is cool, though. I'm hoping it's a genuine comedy like this other 60s Batman. It would just be a lot of fun. I don't know what story they're going to go with the giant TV dinner. Makes me super happy. I love Adam West in general because I feel like he believes he's definitely Batman.
Yeah.
A Like, I've never once thought that Adam West took himself not seriously.
Like, oh man, remember what that time we watched you had never seen, I don't think, the 1960s Batman movie. So you, me, and our girlfriends at the time sat down and watched it, and that was like the funnest ever. That was great because you'd never seen it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, because I'd never, man, the best line, obviously, and there's a ton of stuff in there. I mean, bat shark repellent, just the Joker in general, the fight with the shark is great. But some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. I mean,
yeah,
that's so fantastic.
It's great. And honestly, that's on Netflix. If everyone wants to go see that, just Batman the movie, you'll know from the picture it's from the 60s. Great movie to sit down and check out with your friends. It's hilarious.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And by the way, it's important to remember that the 60s Batman was intentionally comedic. Like, they wrote it tongue-in-cheek on purpose. Like, that's why the signage is so blatant. Like, secret trapdoor button.
Yeah.
Or murder beehive or something like that.
Yeah, well, in the first episode of the show, too, which is also great, he does what has become known as the Batusi, which is, you've seen it, it's Batman doing that disco kind of, not disco, it was the 60s, but you know what I mean, the peace signs in front of the eyes dance. It's great. It's so funny. So I'm excited to see them come back and do that at least one more time. If it's successful, I hope they do a couple of them, because you know what? What else is Adam West doing these days? Family Guy?
Trying to fuck someone you're related to. Was it your aunt?
Yeah, my aunt, actually, because I live in Michigan, and as did she at the time, and there's the Detroit Auto Show, and she was like a girl at the Detroit Auto Show one year, and they were showing the Batmobile. This was years after the Batman series, so this was old Adam West. This wasn't like young Adam West.
Like mid to late 70s, or are we talking into the 80s?
This was probably 20 years ago, so he's not like ancient at that point, but he's too old to be hitting on her. She was...
I mean, that's only 98?
Something like that.
96? 94?
Anyway, and he hit on her and tried to fuck her, so...
Nice.
She did not get
how hard did he try to fuck her?
I don't know, he was hitting
like, are we talking like he got real close and invaded personal bubble and like probably slipped something into a drink she dumped out, or
I am not privy to the details, but as far as I know, she did not receive the bat pole.
That's too bad. It's a better story if your aunt fucked Batman.
Fuck it, I'll fuck Batman for the story.
I'd rather fuck Burt Ward.
Well, that's just because he's a very giving lover.
I was gonna say, he seems like a better lover between the two.
Yeah.
I feel like Burt Ward is like, yeah, you know what? Tell you what, I'll take it this time.
I think that's it for that. Then finally, art. It's subjective. I'll give you that. Not everyone's tastes are the same. But I think most of us can agree that the recent art installation illegally put into, was it Central Park?
There were several parks. It's more than one.
Good. It speaks to us all, and that is a naked statue of Donald J. Trump. And it's beautiful.
Do you see the thing about it is, and it's the dad butt that really gets me. The front is great. Don't get me wrong. The tiny wiener and the gullet and all that, just fantastic. But if you look from behind, I mean, it's just this weird little V-shaped butt. It's so good. The hair's great. The skin is like blotchy and weird and old. Oh, I love it. This art is the best art of all the art.
Yeah. Donald Trump, I assume, when he heard about this, said, I have the best statues. The best.
The best. People are saying I have the best statues. I do very well with statue artists, especially marble. Not any of that Chinese knockoff bullshit. Do very well with it, believe me. So this of course made me think of a question to ask Hugo that was slightly erotic, and that question is, Hugo, what celebrity statues would you like to see naked?
Ooh.
And the answer for me is very simple. If you'd like to think about your answer for a minute, my answer is it's clearly Hillary.
Hillary?
Because you gotta even the scales, but I'm assuming that under that pantsuit, it's just another pantsuit.
Okay, I'm gonna go one step further. I'm gonna say Bill Clinton, because I need to know.
Bill.
I need to know.
It's probably substantial.
It's gotta be. It's gotta
right?
be. It's gotta be at least decent.
Now, I'm assuming that these statues are ridiculously accurate, and they've probably seen Donald Trump's dick. So if they have the same access to Clinton's dick, I mean, maybe it's just down one of his legs.
I wonder what the over-under
Like,
is on it being bigger or smaller than a cigar. That's for
Probably.
that's for those people who grew up under the Clinton administration and know what that means.
You know, Lyndon B. Johnson had a huge dick too.
I've heard this. Didn't he like whip his dick out all the time to foreign dignitaries?
Yeah, he'd invite say if he was president now, he'd invite Putin over, and they would usher Putin to the back. Obviously, it's not Putin; it was Gorbachev or whoever. And the Russian guy would get to the back, and then there would be Lyndon B. Johnson sitting on the edge of a hot tub with his dick flopped out, just probably cresting the water just a little bit, like a beluga whale. And then he would just, keep it out, kind of like an old guy at a locker room that just didn't give a fuck anymore, like applying Bengay to his inner thigh or something. That was Lyndon B. Johnson, and that's how he won a lot of debates.
You
basically, here's my dick.
You paint a beautiful picture. I'm gonna be real with you.
Yeah, it's an art, really, just like this art.
Full circle. Anyway.
Yeah. So this was a shorter episode, but there's not much going on right now. I don't know what to tell you. Give us topics down in the comments section, and then you'll get more.
Yeah, guess so. Yeah.
Titanfall's coming out that I don't care about. No Man's Sky still sucks. Star Citizen will happen. Looks better.
Oh, Pokemon Uranium got taken down.
Well, I already have it, so it's fine.
It's on all the download sites. Anyone can still get it. I'm just saying. Nintendo was real quick on the trigger on that one, but I guess it got downloaded over 1.5 million times or something, which is good. Good for them.
Yeah, it's fine.
Fuck Nintendo as far as that goes. If they were selling it, I'd get it. But come on, it's a fan game.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyways,
so I guess that's it. Like we said, let us know over the course of the next week what you want us to talk about in the comments. Yeah.
Luke Cage soon.
Woo! Until next time, I'm Hugo.
Jake.
And click all these links. This has been Unpopular Culture.
There's no links on the page.
Oh.
I never do that.
Oh. Don't click those links that don't exist. Bye.